Okay, welcome back to Gold's Garage, and this video is mainly about my 4.7 swap budget build engine. We talked about it before. We've got a dyno date. We're going to use this for a test mule to test a whole bunch of carburetors and air filters, and we talked about that in previous videos. Lots of good information if you want to check out those videos. And we're going to start up, let you hear how it sounds. And before I forget, please like and subscribe. We got another special for you. In the other end of my shop, I got an original dual quad 409 horsepower 409 that just came in a couple of days ago. And if you remember that Beach Boys song, "She's Real Fine, My 409," well, that's what it was all about. And that's the authentic deal. I looked up the engine code. It's a 409 horsepower 409. It's got the right dual quads on it, and it's got the 690 heads. Any 409 aficionado will recognize that number. They are the most desirable cylinder heads. And that engine came to me from a customer. He bought it complete, ready to go, and we're going to come back and talk about the details of it after we get this guy going. So the interesting thing about this one is a couple things. It is a budget build again. What does that mean? It means we use the original rotating assembly, so it's not high compression. It's somewhere around 9.2 or 3 to 1 compression ratio. And we use the original pistons, but this engine came to me. It's a 4-bolt main, 010 block, pretty rare block. That's why I bought it. And took it apart, inspected it, and cleaned it myself, so it did not go to a machine shop. And what we saved on that, we spent on parts. So we bought real good Promax aluminum cylinder heads. We've used these on a previous build, and they made real good power. An Edelbrock Performer aluminum intake manifold, and once again, stock rotating assembly, but we used good Molly rings in it. I hand honed it myself. I got a 400 grit hone in it, and brand new HEI distributor, which is kind of my standard, and it's ready to go. I have broken in the cam already. I've run it for probably 15 or 20 minutes already, and it runs fine. We don't have any leaks. We don't have any issues with it whatsoever. Pressure tested it, and it's fine. So we're going to start it up and let you hear how it sounds. And we're not going to rev it up too much, but we're going to. It's a Labor Day in Canada and in the USA, so let's see how it sounds. A little more description about this engine. First of all, I don't build these engines just for fun. I have to sell them, so this engine is for sale. We will use it we have a dyno date with Daryl. It's getting hard to get into Daryl's shop, by the way. He's a pretty busy guy. Anyway, October 12th, but I'm on call for an earlier date because I'm ready to go, obviously. This engine is done as far as I'm concerned. A couple more diagnostic checks. But one of the things, the camshaft is an interesting thing. It's a 4.7 swap, which means the firing order is not 1843, it's 1873, and so on. So that is supposed to provide a nicer idle. There are some other advantages. I did talk about this in a previous video, lots of comments about it, so you might check that out. But we're going to find out on the dyno. There's some theory that it'll make a little more horsepower. So when we get there, we'll see how it does. Once again, I mentioned the compression ratio. The camshaft number is, I got the numbers here, Summit 1202. And it's it's 218, 228, so it's not a big radical cam at all. 465 on the intake, 473 on the exhaust. But I will put 1.6 rockers on the intake. Right now it's got 1.5. For safe startup, I always use 1.5 rockers. And I will, now that I've broken the engine in, I'll put 1.6 on the intake only. And it's on a 109 LSA. So that is, according to a lot of experts, including Bill Jenkins, the right LSA for a small block Chev. So that's where it's on. I did degree this cam in. It's degreed on center line. It's not advanced or retarded. So we'll continue with that. So it is for sale. If anybody's interested, you can contact me through my channel. We'll have the information on there. If you like to come to the dyno with us and watch us test a variety of carburetors and air filters, and it is a great way to certainly break the engine in, and we'll be doing that. So let me know if you're interested, and we'll go back to the 409. We'll talk about the 409 a little bit. So let's go over here. So we showed this at the beginning. So take a good look at this engine. Customer bought it. It's supposed to be a completely rebuilt 409. So I've already checked the chassis number. It is a 409 horsepower 409 block, and VIN numbers. It's an authentic. It's the real deal. I've already done a couple things. I took spark plugs out and I turned the engine over. It turns over okay. I put my endoscope camera down in there. This engine has never been fired. Got the right Carter AFB, correct Carter AFB 4-barrel carburetors, dual quad 409. So if you remember the Beach Boys song, She's Real Fine, My 409, dual quad 4-speed, positive traction 409. So that's exactly what this is. So this engine is probably worth more than my first house, and that's no exaggeration. And one of the other things we have is the original authentic air breather, and that's probably worth more than, I'm sure it's worth more than my first car. Let's put it that way. So I've got a whole process. I've done them before. I bought the manual on it. I did another engine for the same customer more than 5 years ago, and that's why he doesn't need it, because he's already got that engine ready to go. He doesn't need another one, so he's going to want to sell. So this engine will be for sale. If anyone's interested in it, I'm going to do all the diagnostic checks. We'll actually make a video about that process, because it's going to be pretty detailed. Things I have to do to check it out, what you should do when you store an engine, the checks to make before you start it. I will eventually, whether I'll make a decision whether it has to come completely apart or not, I don't know yet. I just got it. Once that's done, it goes on my test stand, and then we're going to take it to the dyno, and I have a dyno date. It's in November right now. We're on call for earlier dates, and by that time it'll be ready to rock and roll, and we'll go through detailed in future videos exactly the process we're going to use, how to make sure this engine, pretty sure it doesn't have a roller cam. It's got a solid lifter cam. I know that. I've already checked the valve lash on a couple of valves, and so it's got to be started up safely, because you could do lots of damage if you don't do it right. So valve cover off. So you can see they staggered. The 409 had they're a unique engine in a lot of ways. They're not they're not a 90-degree V. They're, I think, 72-degree. I'm going from memory now. And the cylinder heads are totally flat. There's no combustion chamber in the cylinder head. The combustion chamber is in the pistons, believe it or not. So, and the block, because the pistons are headed at a different angle than the V of the block. So, interesting motor. These were iconic up until 1965 when the 396s came out. 396s, 427, and they became basically obsolete. But if you got a 62 Chev bubble top, this is the engine for you, and it's worth whatever it costs. So watch for that on future videos. Okay, tip of the day. We're a little bit off engines. We're talking about transmissions, but I have made gear videos before when I set up some differential gears, about optimum gear ratios and overall torque multiplication. So one way to get that, if you have a small block or big block 60s, 70s Chevrolet, it's going to have either a 350 or 400 turbo hydro in it and no overdrive. So one nice combination. This is a 200 R4, and the beauty of these is they're universally got basically double drilled. They got extra holes in them, so they will fit in not just Chevrolet, but they'll fit in Buicks, Pontiacs. This one was actually rebuilt by Bill Little for a 1970 GTO. And it'll just bolt right in. So one of the beauties is it not only gives you a better first gear, the 700 R4, if you have just a big block or small block Chevrolet, is probably the one you're looking for. It's got a 306 first gear, and then it's got a 4-speed, which is overdrive. And not sure the exact number, but on the 200 that I'm looking at here, it's actually 0.67 overdrive gear ratio. So you could go to, gear ratio, differential ratio of 373 or even probably 410. And with that overdrive, you'll have a real nice hot rod at low speed, and you still got a good cruiser. So it's a great way to upgrade. And overall, when you're hot rodding a car, yeah, you put money and effort into building the engine. But if you want performance, you can gain a lot of performance by your transmission change as well. So these are a nice upgrade. Once again, this one will bolt into any GM big block engine, and the 700 R4 is for Chevrolets, and it has a 306 first gear. Once again, this is 274 first gear. So the 700 has a little bit lower first gear, but they both will really improve your bottom end and still give you a nice cruising speed. So that's our tip of the day. Nice upgrade for any hot rod. Once again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll have lots more detail coming up about this. And let me know if you're interested in my budget build engine. Thanks for watching Gold Scratch.